ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Glad you made it. It's another social production. It is Monday, November 15, 2021. This is Gladyamadeit, baby, the Safari song. We're gonna do a little bit of a sing-along. Get it going. Karaoke time, baby. Come on down, won't you come on down? I said, my town. Oh, mama, when you come on down, won't you come on down? I said, my home. Oh, lady, won't you move my way? Don't you move my way? I'm getting crazy. Oh, mama, when you give your love, when you give your love, you drive me crazy. Oh, mama, what you gonna do with all that love in your heart? Oh, mama, what you gonna say about that love in your heart? Oh, mama, when you walk this way, why don't you give some love in? Oh, mama, what you gonna do with all the love in your heart? See, mama, gotta feel your everything, feel your everything. I really wanna know. Oh, see, mama, when you shine so bright, give your back. See, mama, when your heart is in its place, see that smiling face, it's all I wanna do. See, mama, every time that you are near, it's when you gonna fear. Oh, mama, what you gonna do with all the love in your heart? Oh, mama, what you gonna say about the love in your heart? Oh, mama, when you walk this way, why don't you give some love in? Oh, mama, what you gonna do with all the love in your heart? Monday, baby, we're doing it. Express the hard part. You remember what I said when I got down on my knees? Gotta get your lovin', baby, loving's all I need. Don't make me break now, baby, don't make me bleed. Give you all a man could give and you still walk down on me. Oh, mama, what you gonna do with all the love in your heart? Oh, mama, what you gonna say about the love in your heart? Oh, mama, when you walk this way, why don't you give some love in? Oh, mama, what you gonna do with all the love in your heart? Doing it, baby, that's what it is. Monday, glad you made it. It's another social production. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming back, tuning in. If you're a long-time listener, viewer to the show, thank you very much for all the love and support. If you're a newbie, tune in and buckle up. Let's get it going, baby.
Baby boys, baby girls, ladies and gentlemen, yes sir, yes ma'am, we did it again. It is Monday, November 15th, 2021, baby, halfway through the month, doing it. Hope you guys are all doing well. That was again, Greta Van Fleet, the Safari song. Really enjoy their music. Really enjoy all sorts of music, I'll tell you that, man. Music is a lifesaver. You feel me out there? You feel me out there? Music's a lifesaver, and I had such a great weekend, you know, just let's go back. Let's do a little bit of a recap this week. Let's do a little bit of a recap. No particular agenda, as per usual. Keep it loose as a goose. Loose as a goose. No particular agenda, but Friday evening I was working and I noticed, you know, that's what it is. Sometimes I'll be listening, watching my podcast, my programs, things that I'm into. I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate. A lot of you ladies can relate. But one of my favorite things that I got to watch this past weekend, Friday, it was on the JRE show. The JRE, it's already an experience. You can't call it a JRE experience. The E is already the experience. The JR experience. Who was on it? One of my favorite people out there, Snoop. Shout out to Snoop. Man, what a great show. It brought just smiles to my face. Just smiles on this face, baby. Just because, you know, growing up as a young man, as a young teenage man, a young teenage boy at the time, I remember listening to Snoop. Listen to everybody, man. Listen to Dre, listen to Pac, listen to Biggie, listen to M, Busta, everybody. DMX, all the greats. But it was fascinating to see this man come and sit down and have a little bit of a chit chat for like 3.5 hours, almost 4 hours long. It was really nice. I got to view some of it and I got to listen to some of it while I was working, and it's inspiring. I love listening and hearing other people's stories. Hopefully one day some of us will get to meet, we'll get to share each other's stories together and grow and bond and build beautiful relationships and, you know, just share love. And that's what it was, man. It was just 3.5 hours, man. Snoop's the best. It was so fun to watch him just be him, just do him. He came on there. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen it. For me, honestly, it was one of my Actually, I think it's my favorite episode. There are a few that I really love, but this one it was incredible. It was just yeah, it was a lot of just Snoop talking about his experience, his life, what he's accomplished, what he's gone through. And I'm sure, again, if you guys watched it, you know what I'm talking about. If you listened, you know what I'm talking about. But it was really inspiring just to see somebody that you grow up listening to their music, or you watch their movies, or whatever. You're an athlete, you look up to somebody, or they inspire you. As a young man, I remember, I didn't have too many, my again, parents coming from that immigrant background. They English not their forte. You feel me? It wasn't their strongest suit. So that's the thing. At that time, it was really, like many young men's and women's, you're looking for role models and people that, connect with you, communicate the way you want to be communicating, or express how you're feeling in particular. So again, I remember like hip hop as a teenager, hip hop, rock, but a lot of hip hop. It just spoke to me. It just, it touched a note within the bod, dude. Same vibrations. Remember being in as early as grade, probably, I want to say 6, 7, 8 is when I started listening to hip hop. Definitely in high school, but like grade 6, grade 7, I remember listening to like Get Rich or Die Trying by 50. It was, yeah, as a young kid, it appeals to you. It appeals to you. I don't know what it is, but it does. There's certain aspects of it that appeal to you. Now, mind you, it's hip hop. It is entertainment, but that's the thing. As a teenager, I remember just, singing some of the songs, man. Rolling down the street, smoking and sipping on gin and juice. Laid back with my mind on my money, on my money on my mind, baby. That's what it was. It was just so neat to see Snoop come in there. He's so funny. He brought his own mic. Made me laugh so hard. He had this like pimped out mic. Again, if you saw the show or you heard it, you know what I'm talking about. It was really cool. It was really, really neat. And again, just to see somebody's path, what they've gone through, the ups and the downs, and and not just the personal aspects of the ups and the downs too, because all of us, we're all connected. We're all historical figures, right? We're all little links in the chain and what have you. So it was just fascinating to see this. He's a G and a gentleman now. You know what I'm talking about? He's grandfather to 6 children. Large families, part of a community. He's been a part of many communities, and he's one of those figures. And he surpasses race, religion. You could be into what, and that's the thing with music that I love. It doesn't matter like what your background is or what your music surpasses a lot of these barriers, these man-made barriers. Something you hear somebody sing, you hear somebody play an instrument. It just speaks with you. It just touches something inside, and it makes you feel good and makes you feel connected. And at times, again, music, especially when you're younger, it's fascinating the way that was my thing, man. I remember like listening to music and not fully still working on it, right? But that's the thing, you can't express a lot of things as a young man or as a young lady even growing up, and that's what music's there for. You listen, and music, there's it just hits those heartstrings, whatever it is, or like emotions, whatever it is. You're going through something, oh, there's music for you. Music's been I can't say music's not had an influence on my life, dude. I'd be lying. I think I've mentioned this before, but yeah, definitely music's fantastic. It was just great to see Snoop just, be Snoop with JR doing their thing. It's fantastic. Thank you for that experience. That was fascinating. It was just and it made me reevaluate a lot about myself. Made me just have to sit down, think a little bit more, as per usual, do a lot of thinking. That's actually great. That's what it is, man. Glass half full kind of mentality up in this bitch all day every day, and gotta just take this time to, I guess, refine whatever it is that we're doing out there, each and every one of us. And I'm saying this out loud so I hear it to myself, but I'm sure you guys can relate. Ladies and gents doing it out there, it's the fact, it's just every day you get a chance to come in and do it better, refine yourself, just do a little bit of that. We're all searching for a little bit of that gold within. Not I'm not talking about the material gold. I'm talking about that the diamond, the little gold, the bedazzlement, the bejeweled stuff inside. It's there. You just gotta you gotta. There's a little bit of this that you gotta Ooh, little dirt there, little fugazi piece of gold there. Don't get fooled. You know, that's fool's gold. But there's something in there. There's definitely something in there. You just gotta use a little brush. Use a little brush, dust it off, you know, rinse it underwater. The whole refinement process, dude. It's alchemical process of refinement. Do it. It's good for you. It's what I'm trying to do with myself. So, you know, gonna take this time, and this week I just wanted to come in, and that's what I learned. He was just, you know, we all need different people in different fields and different forms and walks of life to be preaching. We're not even preaching, just living it. He's not a preacher or anything, dog, but just living life through the lens of love, through the lens of, you know, peace, harmony. And, you know, it goes back, you know, he was talking about back in the day, the East Coast, West Coast rivalry, and how that's, you know, that's we can draw a little parallel to our societies right now. It's when we don't have beef with the East and the West, but a lot of the world at times seems like, you know, we get. And I try to like remember the good things, the positive things. The notion that most people, if you get a chance to speak with people one-on-one, you pull them close in your corner, you'll get a chance to speak with them, and you'll find so many more similarities than you will differences. And even the differences, you'll find similarities within those differences, and there's so much to be shared. And, you know, that's what it was. It was inspiring, and it was just a refresher for me as well to, yeah, we're here to spread love, joy, and, you know, make each other laugh, have a good time. That's been my intention from the get-go. That's the grow, learn, have fun, get better at doing comedy, and, you know, take this time to refine. And whenever the time comes, and we'll talk about everything and nothing in this bitch, dude, but when the time comes, that's what it is, man. The path is to get on stage, start performing 5 minutes, 2 minutes in front of however many people, 2 people, 5, even 1 person, whatever it is. Just be able to work on that and make it better, and we'll get it going, baby. It's a slow burn. I've told you from the get-go, this is a 1 drip at a time kind of show. One of the slowest burns out there. It's hot though. It's hot. Don't get too close, but also get close. Like the videos on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. Like the likes on YouTube. Subscribe by searching Rob Sadri. And you want to get a little bit of that, you know. You want to get that fiscal action. You want to get that, you know, monetary funding. You know, go on Patreon, baby. Slide it in there, nice and tight. That's what it is. We all need those reminders, and it was nice to hear it. It was nice to hear it, and it's inspiring. I can't lie. It's inspiring, and I hope you guys watched it. If you haven't, go check it out. I believe his new album's dropping on, if he mentioned, if I'm not mistaken, again, November 19th, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, looking forward to it. Thank you very much. What else has been going on, man? Yeah, I just want to keep it very, you know, lighthearted, as per usual. That's my intention throughout this whole thing, dude. I do want us to gain a little bit of I want us to gain our freedoms back and go out there and do things. But, you know, we're always going to tackle things through that love lens. If you feel me, you feel me out there, because your boy's a lover, not a fighter. That's what it is. We're doing it, man. It was, I've had a great weekend. Just been working a lot, not gonna lie to you guys. Working a lot, put in the hours, gotta get that cheese, baby, gotta get that cheddar, gotta get that feta, gotta get that Gouda, gotta get that cheese, baby. Spread it all over your piece of bread. Spread that cheese all over the bread. Get the bread and the cheese, spread the cheese with the bread. Get that moolah to do the funding, so the process can go on, and, you know, the show must go on. The show will go on. Thanks to you guys for all the love and support, and thanks to, you know, just everybody doing their little part. That's what it is, man. but had a few interesting, you know, conversations with peepsies out there. I'll share a bunch of them, share a couple of them at least. You know, I ran into this fella. This fella used to work for, still maybe, he probably is still employed with UPS, but, you know, we were just, we were driving around, we got to talk and chit chat. He texted me before he got into the car, and he let me know, he's like, oh, I got a bum leg, brother. I got a bum leg, you gotta bear with me. I'll be right down, no problem. We got plenty of space, plenty of time. Out, just pop my jawbone there. Does that ever happen to you guys? Once in a while? No? Just me? You're weird. But he came in, man. He came in with his bum leg. And that's what it was, man. He was just sharing a little bit of his story because I'm like, do you mind? Would you mind if I asked you what caused the leg to go bum? What happened? Did you get in, did you bump into a bum and then you just like Freaky Friday that shit with the lower portion of the limsies? Is that what happened, dog? Next thing you know, you're walking around with a bum leg. You never had a bum leg till now. What happened? Tell me your life story, please. You got 20 minutes. And he was into it, dude. He was into the sharing. I think he needed to get something off his chest, too. It's like, finally, because I've been walking around with this bum leg, and no one's asking me what's going on, man. I've never had this bum leg before, but I'm excited to share this bum leg story with you. So I'm like, what happened, man? Tell me. And he poured his heart out, dude. He just slit that heart right up, and just gushing info, emotions. He's like, yeah, man, I used to work, I still do. Used to, not anymore. I'm on leave. I'm on sick leave. Or he was on some sort of a leave, dude. He was not working, but was employed at a local UPS location, doing the, he's also he's maybe a doula himself of sorts. He's maybe a package savant of sorts. He's that, he'll get it to you, and he'll take it from you as well if need be. But the point of this story is that he went into it and he's like, yeah, man, one sweet afternoon, I was just doing my rounds, picking up packages, delivering packages, and he's like, I got these rubber boots, these fantastic protective rubber boots, and the back of the truck, there's ridges. There are these ridges, I don't know how it works, but little indents, I guess, for the purpose of grip. You got to get that grip going, baby, if you're dealing with packages and whatnot. So he's telling me at one point during his shift, he's about to pick up a package, heavy package. He's about to pick up the package and go do the delivery as per usual, classic pickup, drop off, lift with your back. Get a good arch going, lift with your back, right? So he's doing that, and he's like, I picked up the package, my upper body turned, my torso turned, my limbs on the upper half of my body turned, and as I was about to step forward and make my way, one of my feetsies, I forget which leg it was, got stuck. His boot got stuck in the ridges. I don't know how it works in the back of the UPS trucks. They got ridges, they're working with groove systems, they got indentation, it's a whole system, dude. But he's like, my boot got stuck, my upper body moved, and my torso rotated, but my other leg was stuck in place and just kind of yanked it around his knee. And terrible, work-related accident. But I'm like, shit, dog, what happened? And he's like, yeah, dude, I had to go to a doctor. First doctor, that saw me wasn't giving me that correct diagnosis, And the first doctor apparently just kind of looked at it, didn't even bother touching this man's knee. No touching of the knee. How you gonna diagnose a bum knee if you're not gonna touch it, bro? So he's like, yeah, the first doctor just recommended I do some good old-fashioned physiotherapy without actually even touching my knee or taking a picture or anything. And he's like, I went, did that for a little while, but it was just like, no, actually he didn't do that, my bad. He's like, I can't do just physical therapy. So he went and got that second opinion. That's what it is, man. Even doctors, that's people, you need at least 2-3 opinions. You can't just go with one opinion, opinions, deuces, always deuce the opinions. And that's what he did, man. He went to another doctor and they actually touched his knee. Somebody touch a man's knee, man. That's what it is. You need to get that medical assistance. Somebody needs to get up in there. You can't just be, it can't all be optical. It can't all just be visual. It can't all just be, visual and you need some, get in there. Touch a man's knee, does it hurt? Get a little hammer, get one of those little tiny hammers, start fucking flicking it at his kneecap. Is it related to the particular circumstance? That's like a stress test or something. I'm not quite sure, just to see your reflections and your action time and how fast Besides, maybe that'll hurt him, or I don't know the deets, but get a little tiny hammer. Fucking start chipping away. Second doctor saw his knee and he's like, no, we need to take photos, we need to take, put you in get a scan, do this, that, and long story short, it turned out that he had, torn some tendons or something, messed up his cartilage, and he needed to get surgery. He ended up having to get surgery, and by the time that we had met, he was off his crutches. This is, I forget how long he said, maybe like 4 to 6 months or something, dude. So, but he got surgery, and now he's off the crutches. The cast is off. Now he's in that limping mode, dude. He's doing that bum leg, He's doing that. Watch me nay walk. You feel me? So he's doing that, but the point of this story, the moral of this story, and the one that I'll follow up with, the moral of this story, and it kind of coincides with what I was talking about with, earlier portion of this video with like Snoop on the JR experience, and like, you need to spread love. We all need to be more caring. We all need to be more, don't let the circumstances get to you. And that's a reminder to myself mostly. That's the reminder most of the time. Your boy's got a good handle of things. When it comes to handle on things, you know me, dog. I'll carry a damn spare handle. Just put it on things. Handle here, handle everywhere. Point is, we need to always, for the most part, always remain Zen City, baby. You just need to, do something, whatever it is. And you guys know your bods, your mentality, your life better than anybody, right? You got to do something that creates a little bit of that balance, a little bit of that equilibrium, a little bit of that, good vibe feeling. Sometimes, that's the thing. I, like many of you guys out there, I'm human feelings, human emotions. But that's the thing. They're like, sometimes, you go too zen, they're like, nothing should affect you, nothing, you should just be, but I like emotions. I like, you shouldn't let your emotions guide your behavior or your attitude towards life or anything like that, but still gotta show some emotion, dog. You can't just you can't be emotionless. What are you, a fucking robot? Almost, we're almost there. A little bit longer, and 5 to 10 years, then you can just no emotions, but 5 to 10 years, full on emotion mode, baby. 5 to 10 years of solid emotions. We gotta make up for the time that we can't have any emotions. So I'm just pouring it out, just fucking gushing emotions. So that's that, man. The underlying notion is have love and also appreciate your health. And this is coming from a guy who, not the healthiest dude, but I'm not unhealthy either, dog. I'll tell you that, straight up pushing the early 30s. Nice and solid, strong, baby. Fucking doing it. And don't take anything for granted, because tomorrow's never promised. This gentleman also went into another story, which I'd like to share with you. Lots of stories today. Lots of stories. We also got into another tiny conversation, and it was nice, man. He was just telling me that he knew this fella who was a richer fella. He had resources. He had money. Money was if things are of concern, money was of no concern for this fella. You could say that this fella was maybe not on the top level of the pyramid, maybe not on the top level of the building, maybe not on the top level of space, maybe not on the toppest, maybe not on the penthouse floor of life, but relatively high up. He's got the digits. He's got enough commas and zeros to have a comfortable life. He doesn't need to work. Works and money's no concern for that fella. That fella's just, he's that run around monopolizing. He's that, he's not the biggest of the boys, but he's a boy with, relatively decent size, monetarily relatively decent fiscal padding around the, you got to get that cushion around so you can keep on pushing. But he's fine. Financially, he's fine. But little twist, little side twist in the story is that, and again, health trumps everything, dude. Because this young gentleman we were talking, he's like, yeah, I know this fella, he's got a ton of money, But recently, he's gotten himself into a little bit of a health conundrum, if you will. He's got himself into a little bit of a pickle, and his pickle won't work. That's what it is, dude. He's coming down with the case of the ED, dude. That ED. And ED, you know, I think at one point or another, when you start aging, every man will, you know, you'll experience some sort of it. Has your boy had ED? You know, what's once or twice, dude? I wouldn't even call that. It's just like, you know, off night, whatever. You had an off night. Wasn't your best night. You can't kill every night, can you? That's what it is. But you go there, you prep for it. You'd want to be able to kill it, but you know, sometimes your biology, whether you might be tired, you had, you know, whatever, you've been out too long, something, whatever. External forces. It's not you. It's not you. It's me. You know, that's what it is. Happens to the best of us. Once, twice, and then you want to go up, you know, in tiny little. You want to go up in ED, just little increments. You don't want to go full ED from early like 20s or early 30s. You want to go, you know, little ED, like one ED. In your, you know, a couple of EDs in your early 20s, just to give you a taste. Hey there, champ. Hey there, stallion. Hey there, tiger. Hey there, bear. Hey there. We're really leaning into the, you know, I'm not hinting at anything like no bestiality shit around here, dog. I'm just telling you, you know how you talk to yourself sometimes. You're like, hey, tiger, roar. And that's what that is. You know, a couple of times in your early 20s, a couple of times, you know, in the upper portion of 20, a couple of times here, a couple of times there. Who's counting? Who's counting? All right? But that's the thing. At one point, you realize it's not just the fluke. It's not just the, you know, it's not, you're not having just, you know, maybe it's a night of the lemons, dude. You know, all you keep pulling, you keep putting hands in the basket, all you pull out is a lemon, dud. It's a dud. You know, that cannon's not going to be shooting nothing tonight. That's what that is. Sometimes it happens to the best of us. But that being said, if you notice that it's, you know, perpetually getting worse, and it's just not, you know, something happens. Next thing you know, you go to the doctor and they're like, man, for whatever reason, let's say, you know, I don't even wish this on anybody, dude, but let's say, you know, you encounter some sort of an issue. I don't even know what it is. Maybe you got like, whatever. This fella had a bum leg. This other fella had a, you know, his Johnson wasn't working, dude. So lots of money, everything's swell, but his mini-me wasn't working. And that's what it is. So he was having issues with his wifey. But down the line, he realized he has to, you know, at one point you got to just live life and make decisions, you know, make a solid decision. He loves his wife. From, you know, I don't know the man. This is, you know, I know a guy who knows a guy's situation sort of thing, right? I'm just taking his word for it. He's like, he loved his wife, but he could no longer perform in the bedroom. So he had to tell his wife, had to sit down his wife. You know, sweetheart, how you there, toots? How you doing there, sugar lips? Hey, who's the sweetest gal in town? You know, typical sit-down conversations that you'll have with your loved ones. And he told her that, you know, if you want to take out a lover on the side, if you want to have a side piece, I completely understand, because I still love you, I want to be with you, but I can't perform in the bedrooms, and I understand that you as a lady have needs. And that was it, man. It was just one of those moments where I realized, man, like, that's literally, like, you know, health overall trumps everything, dude. Health overall trumps everything. You can have all the money, you can have all the cars, you can have all the cars filled with money, you can have all the boats, you can have all the boats filled with cars, filled with money, you can have homes inside homes, you can have, you know, you could have it all. You could have a home underneath the ocean, you could have bunkers, you could be, you know, you could be living below the earth's surface. You have just, you know, acres and acres of land underneath the ground. You have facilities, but, you know, something goes wrong with your health, and if you can't fix it for whatever reason, or it's going to take you, it's going to be an impediment in your life. So don't take things for granted, is what I realized. You know, be thankful, be grateful for the things that you got. Don't be comparing yourself with anybody else. And I don't normally do that. I don't do that. But there was, I felt a little bit, maybe a little bit of, I'm pouring everything out there with you. Every year, as you age, for me anyway, around my birthday, it's just it's that reminder that again, you only have a set number of spring, summer, fall and winters. And you want to get the most out of it. Sometimes when things, when life throws you that curveball, but that's the thing, you need to remind yourself to enjoy the ride, enjoy the journey. And it's one of those cliche sayings, but it's true, man. The trip is more than half the fun. That's what it is. It's not the destination. The destination, well, you'll get there. You'll get there. We're gonna get there. It is what it is. But is my path gonna be the same path as this guy or that lady? No. And same with you guys. Everybody's got a different path. So, but it was just around that time where I'm just like, low-key, actually, on you got good at handling things with experience or whatnot. But it was just like one of those things where I'm like this, a couple of weeks ago, when was it? We were already, a couple of weeks ago, right? Birthday sets in, and you're just like, be cool. We're on the right track, be cool. But then something happens, you have a bad day or whatever, and a little something might even just get to you mentally, work through the emotions, get over it. It's nobody's fault, it's nobody's, and take responsibility for whatever is happening in your life is, again, what I'm telling myself, what I'm trying to implement on a daily, and just make it better and be positive and move forward. But again, watching Snoop, watch him talk about, his experience, watch him just, he's like this, right now, it's like a beam of love and wisdom and life experience watching this dude. So it was really neat. And then talking to, peepsies during your day, you realize how much people are still, everybody wants to live a good life, be able to provide for themselves and their families, and they want to be, they want to love and be loved, and everybody wants the most out of life. Most people want the most out of life. Who doesn't want the most out of life? Debatable. And that's what that is, man. So, health trumps everything. That was a reminder. And what else, man? What else? A ton of stories, a bunch of stories. I've picked and selected the ones that have, because not every story is maybe worth sharing. Not every interaction is even an interaction. Sometimes it's just no interaction whatsoever. But the ones that are, good, you got to remember those ones as well. And another beautiful interaction that I had was with another gentleman. Again, we happened to run into each other inside the car, because that's what it is. It's where I run into people. And people share their life story. This fellow he asked me what it was that I was doing. I'm like, I do this. It's my day job, and I'm working to hopefully one day become a, stand-up comic, doing a little bit of storytelling on the lines, doing a little bit of, trying to crack a few jokes on the lines, being in the tubes, being in that meta, dude. I'm in there. I'm just all in there every day. And he was, maybe he was in his, if I were to guesstimate, I'd say he was probably in his 40s, if I'm not mistaken. Looked like a fellow who was in his 40s. So it was interesting. It just so happens that, he was a fellow, I can't call him because I'm not he's like, I've opened up for, and then he dropped a name. I've opened up for this guy at the Just for Laughs festival in Montreal. And I give everybody the benefit of the doubt. This guy's, well, I wouldn't, you look like a decent guy. He starts giving me some pointers and, some advice. And I always listen. It was really just nice to, because this guy, or anybody for that matter, people don't have to, and I'm not the type that ever expects anything. This is just a dude that like to open up and that like to, share a little bit of his experience and share his wisdom and, give me his 2 cents. And it was really appreciated because, again, at this, in this circumstance, speaking for myself, I've not had the chance to, interact with too many people in the comedy community. Everything's been online, we go outside sometimes, but I've not had the chance to be able to go to a comedy club or, just start even making a little bit of a connection in terms of You guys are, everybody's doing different things. Everybody's on different levels. No competition. It's a cooperative effort. Let's build each other up. Let's have fun. Bust some balls. Crack some jokes. Have some fun. Learn, grow, make it better together. And it was just interesting. He pointed out to a bunch of stuff, which was, food for thought for me. Again, it gave me a lot to contemplate. He's coming from a different background. His path was completely different than, what my path has been so far, and what it's gonna be. Who knows where it's gonna go and how it's gonna go down. But I'm always just trying my best and hoping for the best, but also preparing for the worst at the same time. It's a whole mental jiu-jitsu, gymnastics. It's just like you guys out there, right? And anything that you do, whether you're in sports, whether you're in the arts, whether you're you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're a police officer, you're a firefighter, you're a underwater welder, you're a craftsman, you're a craftswoman, you're a damn, you're you're a magician, you're a wizard, you're a, you're a witch, you're a druid, you're you're doing it all. You're mixing, you're matching. You're creating, you're deducing, you're taking things out, you're adding things, and you're doing it. But the point is that, he gave me some tips. Then one of the tips that is I gotta get on stage in order to, that's the one, absolutely, I definitely have to do that. That's one portion that you can't skip steps. I'm not about that. I'm not about cutting corners. I'm not about, want to do things properly, because I got a lot of love and appreciation for the art form of stand-up and storytelling. I respect it, and I respect the people who are doing it, who have been doing it. And that's you gotta earn your belts or your tiger stripes or your badges or your patches or your you gotta earn. Yeah, it's one of those things that I like. There's a meritocracy to a high degree, from what I gather anyway. He just shared a bunch of stuff. Some of it was positive, some of it was stuff that I kind of like, some things that I'm been doing differently, and the path that he described, I'm not, he's like, if you want to do it, I'm just telling you, these are the things that you need, and that's the thing. Sometimes people hit you with certain facts, and you're like, no, this guy's got legit points. There's definitely some points that are legit. Some things that I got to work on, and some other things I did not particularly agree with, just because, again. And he's probably done way more than I have achieved in this realm. So, I'm not, I appreciated the time that he put in and the story that he laid out for me, rather. And it's, but sometimes, despite I just always remember at the back of my mind, I remember reading a book at one point. I forget the name of the book, but the gist of the story was, I believe, I forget which book it is. But the core message of that book was, again, like I remember, it was, I think if I'm not mistaken, it was about David and Goliath. And, David was about to go, he had a beef with Goliath. Goliath being, a larger fella, a strong man of sorts, and if I'm not mistaken, a king approached David and is like, David boy, you're gonna go fight Goliath here. Come take my shield, come take my weapon. Take my sword, go into the battlefield with these, at least have these equipments, at your disposal. And David took a sec and assessed and reassessed the sitch, and he's like, no, thank you. I'll go in there with my own gear. I don't need your gear. Your gear might be better, but it's better suited for you. You're used to the weight. You're used to the way it fits on your body. You've practiced with it. You know what it's gonna do. You know how it feels. You know how to maneuver in it. You know how to utilize it properly. Where I, despite the fact that this might be the best sword and the best shield, have never, picked up this shield, and he probably had other things. I'm not, it's been a long time that I read that book. I forget the name, but that's the core message that stuck with me. Is like, never take anybody else's armor or sword, this is an analogy, I guess, or rather tools. You could draw upon parallels. You can utilize information. You can utilize, and there's definitely certain things that, yes, there's a particular pattern, there's a particular way of doing things, and there are rules, and you know you can do, but there are aspects in from what I'm learning and from what I've been learning from, you know, doing this for more than a year now, is you got to do things your own way. And things in comedy, again, I've not been in it prior, like I've not been in comedy in the 2000s or the 90s or the 80s or the 70s, right? And what I'm approaching right now is, you know, we're doing comedy, and we're all of us, technology's become such a big part of our lives that, you know, some of the older rules, and I'm not like, this is, you had a lot of valid points, but some of the older rules, from what I gather, I don't think that's particularly maybe the right route for me. For me, I've just been in, like, you know what, even though I am a nobody, even though I've got to, you know, take the time to build write my jokes, write the bits that I want to be doing on a stage, and then this is different. This is way different than what that's gonna be. I already know these things, but I've mentally prepared myself. But doing it is something else. But the point is that, you know, for me, this gives me an opportunity. Again, I'm so thankful for everybody who comes and watches the show on a weekly. You've been with me for a long time. Thank you. The ones from the get-go, you've been with me. I love and appreciate you. It really means a lot. And for anybody else out there who's joining, you want to, you know, follow and subscribe, thank you. It means a lot. You want to like the videos, thank you very much. It really does mean a lot. And one of the things that I wanted to do from, you know, I wanted to just put out as much material out there as I can right now. It's not going to be, these are not mine, because there's a difference. This is not stand-up. I can't say this is stand-up. That's, you got to go on a stage to do stand-up. This is podcasting. This is storytelling. It's different. There's no live audience. What I want to be doing, despite, and there's a little bit of that, you know, he pointed out to the fact that you might be making yourself either, you know, it might not be, from his perspective, he's like, don't put out any material done until it's like polished, until it's like, and he's like, even then don't put it out, because people might take your stuff, people might, you know, if you happen to hear your stuff on the telly, is it a coincidence, in a joking way, he said, and you know, what have you. And I'm not saying anybody's, but for me, I to be honest with you, I think there's a lot more inside of me, and there's so much that I could create, and I want to be working with people and be a part of a community. I don't want to be, this is a one-man operation. This is, and for comedy, a lot of times it is a one-man or one-woman operation, but you do have a community, and I like to be a part of a community rather than be working in a cutthroat kind of environment. That's why I've left everything else as much as I can, because I'm not that type of person that wants to just do it for you and just do it for the money, or just, no, I literally love comedy. Like it's, again, for more than a year now, go to bed thinking about comedy, wake up in the morning thinking about comedy and storytelling, and what I'm going to do to get myself step by step, a little tiny step by step, baby. This is a slow drip, and I got a long way to go. But his mentality was like, you know, people, he told me so much, and some of it I already kind of know, but it was just one of those reminders that, yes, it's a vulnerable thing that you're doing, that I'm doing, in terms of a lot of other people too, you know, you put a lot of yourself out there. But that's the thing, I think, if anybody, hey, if you want to, I believe in I believe in, this is what I believe in. I believe the more you do, the more you give, the more you get. And that's kind of like, in like a karmic way, if you will, you know, and I don't believe in karma in a way, because sometimes, you know, you'll look at somebody and you're like, man, did that child have to be, you know, born with, you know, a physical illness of sorts? Did that other person, you know, you look at people, because that's the thing, we always think about karma, how it's like, oh, you reaping what you sow, right? You get what you deserve. And it's like, sometimes you look at circumstances where people are like, what did they do to, you know, get that card? So it's hit or miss with karma, but I do believe in, you know, if you put out good energy, if you put out good positive things in the world, the overall things that you'll get in return are going to be positive and good as well. Does life throw curveballs? Is life full of surprises? Life is that, it's all surprises. You don't know nothing. You know as much as you know on a daily, and that's the thing. Tomorrow's not promised for anybody. I've had a reminder of that many a times during my lifetime. That's why a lot of times I try to be as present as I can be and enjoy the moment as well as much as I can. It's not so much to, oh, gotta get to this place so I can feel good about myself. Or no, there's that. I personally have goals and dreams and aspirations, and I would say I have ambitions. I think it's good to have a little bit of ambition and dreams and work towards things, but I don't, for the most part, I don't try to and I do come down on myself when it comes to the work, but I try not to. I try to enjoy my day as much as possible. And again, I took his words of wisdom, what he had shared, and it was really neat and interesting. But for for my journey, for my path, maybe this is wrong, maybe this is right. We'll find out. Maybe down the line we'll have to readjust and reevaluate. But for the time being, this is me getting to, in a sense, practice really. And again, thank you guys for whoever's been watching, for whoever's been listening. But my aim is to make it better, and one day that I could actually hopefully call myself a stand-up. This is storytelling, this is podcasting, this is not stand-up. My aim, my goal is to get on stage in front of 2 people, 5 people, 10 people, for whatever, a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever chance is available. I want to work hard and get better at it, and that's it. I can't, it's all going to take little baby steps, and I can't, rush into it, and I can't do anything that's little by little. We'll get there. So thank you again for everybody watching and listening. What's another story, man, that I want? I told you guys, it was a busy weekend. Gotta get that cheese, baby. It was a busy weekend, and met wonderful people. Met the last one that I'll share with you guys was a brief interaction. Again, met a fella, ran into a fella. This was a younger man. This was maybe high school, maybe university at that age. You can't really, it's hard to tell, but it doesn't matter. But he was wearing his gym shorts, gym shirt, had his gym bag ready. He was heading to the gym. He was heading to LA Fitness. And, I was taking him there, and he got in, hello, regular voice, hello, introduced himself. Is this for, I'm like, yes, this is for, you gotta bleep the names, conceal their identity. And, it was a short trip, maybe 5 to 10 minutes, but that's the thing, when we got to, as soon as we got to the destination, man, he was about to exit the vehicle, and in the deepest voice, and just I can't even imitate. I tried to, because as soon as I left, dude, I started to laugh so hard. His voice cracked. Dog, his voice cracked. His voice cracked, and he said, we arrived at the location, and he's like, right here is fine, and it just right here is fine. It just went to the hello and the greeting that I got compared to the goodbye and the right here is fine. It went so deep. It went God level deep, dude. It went so high. I'm like, all right. But he's at that age, man. It just reminded me of myself when I was younger. High school, university, going to classes, and then hitting the gym. That was the extracurricular, right? You go to the gym. That's a great spot to be at when you're a young man or a young lady, or or just a lady or a man. It doesn't matter. Gyms are great. Do you? Point is, that his voice went really deep, and it cracked me up, and it reminded me of those times. But also, I'm like, man, kids are these kids are out there, buddy. You feel me? They're out there lifting and pumping. It's nice, dude. This kid was lifting with his damn tonsils that day, bro. Went fucking deep. Right here is fine. And just fucking as if this guy had fucking, as if if he just heard the voice, you'd be like, this guy has no neck. This is God right here. That deep, I can't even imitate it, dude. It went fucking deep. Right here is fine. Right here is fine. I can't even, he went so deep, but it was a crack. It wasn't his natural, but you'll maybe that'll, it was a beautiful, right here is fine sentence. If he's stuck with that voice for the rest of his life, but you don't know, that thing's gonna crack and uncrack for several years, until it like settles in and he starts, you know, whatever it is. The point is that it just made me laugh and I wanted to share with you. And this was all just, you know, it was a busy weekend. It was a lot of fun. Got to meet a bunch of interesting people, nice peepsies out there doing beautiful, wonderful things. People opening up, sharing their stories with me. I wanted to share with you guys. Hopefully it brought a little bit of laughter and joy to your hearts. Hopefully, you know, you guys are having a wonderful start to your week, and I hope that you go out there and get it, whatever it is that you're after. Just take it one step at a time, baby, one step at a time, one teeny tiny step at a time. You know, that's what it is. And when they asked you who sent you, you tell them, the PK fucking blinders, mate. My name is Arthur Shelby, and we're here from the PK fucking blinders. You tell them that. If they asked who sent you, my name is Arthur Shelby from the PK blinders. Arthur Shelby. A little raspy, a little bit deeper. Arthur Shelby from the PK blinders. PK fucking blinders, mate. I'm Arthur Shelby. Shelby. Blinders, mate. And that's what that is. You know, I'm excited. I love you guys. Thank you for all the love and support. I'll be back here again on Wednesday. Like the likes on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. Search Rob Sadri on YouTube. Search Rob Sadri on YouTube. Search Rob Sadri on YouTube so you get the full length video. Subscribe. And you want to get a little bit of that again. Monetary action going. You want to support your boy. Grow a little bit faster, stronger, better. Go on to Patreon. Slide it in there. And we're trying to do it better and stronger each and every day. And I suggest that you all talk about the show. Pass it around like hotcakes and drugs. Till next time. Stay safe. Peace out, everybody.